Hey, how you doing? Just want to give you a quick go through here on the video instead of reading a text. If you're looking at your system and you want to go from say Windows 10 to 11, how would you know if it's even possible, or would it just be easier to go to say a Linux, or what flavor that you can get super lightweight, I call it middleweight, and then full desktop. So if you can't run Windows 11, you might want to just move over to a version of Linux. So let's just look here. On the screen here, you want to go down to your search box, type in the word system information. You want to bring that app up, and in the system summary here, you can see I've already updated this particular device to Windows 11. And what I need, or what you're going to need, is you're going to need the name of the manufacturer, the model number, if it's a 64-bit type, the actual SKU. Processor is important for Windows 11. This processor is not approved. I think the i7 8500 is the minimum spec. The other minimum would be at least a 2.0 gigahertz, and it must be a minimum of 2 cores. Now, on Linux, I know the full desktop version is a minimum of 2 cores. So again, you can only go back so far. Version date for the BIOS is important, is 2018, and it allows me on this BIOS to actually go in and set this as UEFI, which is secure boot. Now, normally Windows wants secure boot. There will be a ways around that. If it's at your house, it's not that big a deal. In a business, yes. The other thing we're looking for is the amount of RAM on board. This is 12 gigabytes. 4 gigabytes is pretty much minimum for like Windows 10, Windows 11. If it's running slow on 10, it's going to run even slower on 11. If you have 8 gigabytes, much better. Um, Ubuntu can work on 4 gigabytes, but it actually would like 8. So the SSD drive may add performance because you have an older machine. It was spec'd when it was running the older, slower mechanical drive. SSD does give you a little bit of help there. Other than that, that's all I need from that thing. Next little tool I want to look to show you about is called Dxdiag. Okay, we have Dxdiag up. And what I want to look at here in here real quick is it shows you the same pretty much basic information, but I'm looking for the DirectX 12, and I'm also going to be looking for the WDDM. It must be a 2.0. Again, that's two Windows 11 minimums right there. So pretty much shows you Windows 11 can run, but you need to be, certain specs you have to have. Others, there's going to be some workaround. So in there, the other thing I want to show you is save all information. With that, you can save that file, and I'm just going to open mine because it ran before. And again, it's a lot of information. Most of it you will not need. But again, it brings it out again here. You could send that to a friend, somebody like me. I can go through it and see where you are. And this gives you all your information about your drivers and what is loaded. And my native mode is a 1080 screen, things like that. So you get a lot of information. Another nice little tool. The last tool you're going to need to know about is Device Manager. And in here, what I'm looking for is my security device. See, I have TPM 2.0 running listed. Yours may be available through your BIOS, a BIOS upgrade. There's different ways. You just need to check it. If you haven't before, you may find it works. So really just matters on your CPU, how many cores, how fast that CPU is running, and if you have it swapped out to an SSD drive at this point, you have nothing to lose. And again, a half a terabyte's running about $32. So not a bad idea. But that's all you really need to know. See what your specs are. If you go to Ubuntu, go to requirements here. Your desktop 2 gigahertz dual core processor. That's pretty much the same as a Windows 11. A RAM, again, 4 gigs. It goes down to VGA, which is better. I mean, you can go a lot lower than your DirectX, but you're and a minimum of 720. So that's your top flavor, say Ubuntu. Um, the X version, I call it the middleweight's 2 gigabyte RAM, and the real lightweight one is 1 gigabyte. So again, virtual machine, at least a dual core processor, 2 gigabyte. They're looking for 4. So again, you can only squeeze so much out of your system, but take a look. And my system I just showed, I'm running on right now, is literally 9 years old. So it was a good performer when I got it, and it's been a solid performer. I have nothing lost here. So have a great day.